IQ. He understands the sport. He looks at it in a mental sense. He knows what he needs to do.
Yes, he did. He said, well, if Ray Leonard could beat Marvelous Marvin Hagler, then Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez.
Terence got a great chance to beat him, man. You know what I mean? Terence can box. Terence can move. Terence can punch. You know what I mean? Terence ain't gonna be doing like Skull.
Boxing fans, what happens when one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters on the planet stares down the most dangerous champion of this era? Terence Bud Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez isn't just a fight, it's history. In the making, legends, trainers, and fighters are already speaking out, and what they're saying will shock you. Lennox Lewis couldn't hide his shock after seeing Crawford's intense training. He praised Bud's discipline and boxing IQ, saying that when Crawford locks in with focus, he already knows the path to victory.
Stay at the top and be at the top. He moves very well. He's a very elusive mover, and his work rate is high.
I won't ask you who's going to win the fight because I know it's a question you've probably been asked a million times, but I will ask you, do you think this fight goes the distance, or do you think this fight ends inside the distance?
Interesting.
Trainer Brian Bomack. McIntyre added that the moment isn't overwhelming Crawford at all. He explained there's no pressure. Crawford is calm, focused, and treating this as just another challenge. According to Bomack, Bud's preparation is sharp, deliberate, and perfectly designed to shock the world.
Have a fight rather than maybe boxing. No, I don't think there's no pressure on Terence because Terence gonna fight the way that he's used to fight. So by saying all that stuff that Turkey say or anybody else say, that doesn't bother Terence not one bit. You know, we train for one way, the way we're going to fight, and that's the way we're going to get the job done.
When people talk about this fight and they talk about the outcome of the fight, the sort of narrative online is that, look, Terence was moving up in weight, but we all know Terence can crack. When that fight was made with Errol Spence, it was seen as a 50-50 fight, and in reality what it was one of the most destructive performances I've ever seen. Should fans be surprised if Terence could manage to stop Canelo?
I think that fans are going to be surprised when he dismantled Canelo. The more time goes on, the more time Terence can settle into that weight, the worse is off for the opponent.
The last one from me, because I know there's timers now at that minute as you were talking, so I just had one more question. If he manages to get through Canelo Alvarez, does that cement his place on the Mount Rushmore of boxing?
You just answered the question.
Rhetorical.
Legendary commentator Larry Merchant compared the showdown to Sugar Ray Leonard's shocking win over Marvin Hagler, a smaller, faster technician against a stronger, bigger champion. Merchant believes Crawford's sharp footwork, timing, and intelligence could rewrite history just like Leonard did.
I asked the great Larry Merchant, I said, do you think Terence Crawford has a chance to beat Canelo Alvarez? And Larry said, Jim, did Ray Leonard get an official decision victory over Marvelous Marvin Hagler? And I said, yes, he did. He said, well, if Ray Leonard could beat Marvelous Marvin Hagler, then Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez. And I said, why do you say that? He said, same equation. Get in, get out. Get in, get out. Yeah. Over and over and over. He's got to figure the angles and the approaches that will allow him to step in, land to the body, or occasionally upstairs, and then get out. That's what Ray did so effectively against Hagler.
Respected trainer Buzzy Ennis warned that Canelo has always struggled with slick, mobile fighters, and Crawford is exactly the type who can frustrate him using angles, counters, and movement to make Canelo lose patience.
You know that if he can't touch you, you know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean?
Now, did watching that make you feel like Terence Crawford has better than a 50% chance? After watching, I know we've seen him against Laura back in the day, but now this is supposed to be a new and improved Canelo.
Yeah. I think, like I said, Terence got a great chance to beat him, man. You know what I mean? Terence can box, Terence can move, Terence can punch. You know what I mean? Terence ain't gonna be doing like Skull. Terence gonna fight you. You know what I mean? He's Terence from the streets, man. You know what I mean? He knows what to do. You know what I mean? When it comes down to it. I think he's going to wind up frustrating Canelo. You know what I mean?
So what's the right way? Because Skull was moving too much. Is as soon as he as soon as you turn him, then is that when you start firing off?
Well, see, the thing is, the right way is the way I would have my fighter doing is I'm boxing him, you know what I mean? And he coming at me, I'm hitting him, pop, 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 pop. And soon he gets set, I'll tie him up. Walking to the center. You know what I mean? We cruise to the ropes and do the same thing and keep on frustrating. Hit with the jab, boom, boom. keep on moving, but also hitting him though. You know what I mean? And he gets frustrated, then he let his guards down. And it was a good night.
Bernie the boxer, close to Crawford's camp, when further claiming Canelo is tailor-made for Bud, he called Alvarez powerful but predictable, and insisted that Crawford's ability to adapt mid-fight gives him the ultimate edge.
Well, a lot of people are saying about Crawford's age, but, you know, no boxing, no life, as Canelo would say. And Crawford still, you know, in age, but he ain't took no punishment. He's cautious, you know, he works hard throughout these years. So, you know, of course you're gonna, you know, you gotta count that in the factor, but in his heart, in his mind, in his spirit, he's still youthful about boxing. He loves boxing, and this is one way to get him up. You know, he's a challenge guy. He loves a challenge, and Canelo is the biggest challenge you can get. You know, we got to go up 2 weight classes, really 3 weight classes to get a guy like that. Hardest puncher, great counter puncher, tons of experience, undisputed champion, unified champion, a couple of divisions champion. And so we didn't get the Pacquiao or the Mayweather, but we getting Canelo, and nothing comes easy to Team Crawford, and expect us to look good on the 12th. Expect us to come out victorious September 12th.
No, we obviously just saw his fight against Skull, and people didn't obviously enjoy it. The back foot boxing from Skull and whatever. Yeah. But what fight can fans expect from Bud? Because a lot of people think that it'll be similar to that or the Charlo fight or whatever like that.
The one thing about Crawford is he got guts. Them bums ain't have no guts. Them bums didn't want to win. Crawford want to win. That's it. It ain't about no belt. It ain't about nothing. You didn't sign the contract. We want to win, and he want to be the best, and he is the best. So that's what's going to be the difference. You know, Crawford got guts. He got a fighting spirit. So when you see Crawford, he going to go in there and get busy with Canelo. Don't you even doubt that. You understand? You ain't never seen Crawford stay on the back foot in no fight in his life. You understand? He the type of guy to go get you. So expect him to go get him. We going to do everything we can to him. We going to do whatever we got to do. But one thing you can expect is Crawford is going to step to him. Because you can't beat Canelo going on the back foot forever. You got to go get him. You got to do something. And he better know Crawford is coming.
His preparation has been serious, but has been sparring strong. Heavy hitters like Lester Martinez to mirror Canelo's size and power. Reports say Crawford is sharp, accurate, and adapting perfectly to the super middleweight strength.
Preparation from sparring. Like Terrence being with Lester Martinez, he's about as good a concoction you could hope for as a sparring partner. I need a guy who can come forward with good timing, who's sharp, who got good power in both hands. Lester Martinez for Terrence Crawford. If you're Canelo, I need a guy that can switch. I need a guy with length. I need a guy with power, with skill. He gets Darrell Valsaint, who's 6'1", 154. He switch hits, southpaw, mostly southpaw like Terrence, but can switch. Good long, his arms are almost the exact same length as Terrence Crawford. And he's a young 23-year-old good athlete. And then I don't know if Canelo's sparring with Marco Verde, who won the silver medal for Mexico, but Marco Verde would, again, 5'11", long arms, southpaw, can switch. I would think between Darrell Valsaint and Marco Verde, Canelo's getting awesome preparation. And then Terrence with Lester Martinez. This is speculative, but someone did mention it to me on Twitter when I was talking about Canelo preparing with Valsaint. They go, well, Lester Martinez had to go home with migraines and pull out of a fight, and he was sparring with Terrence Crawford. So, I mean, it's speculative, but you're like, wow, well, if you put 2 and 2 together, if he was getting migraines for sparring Terrence Crawford and had to pull out of a fight because of it, then that must mean Terrence Crawford is doing well in the gym.
Analysts agree this isn't just power versus speed. It's calculation versus creativity. Canelo brings thunder, but Crawford brings rhythm, adaptability, and unpredictable skill. This could be the most fascinating chess match boxing has seen in years.
Predictable. I think Canelo, he likes to go to the same combinations, quite repetitively, whereas Crawford is unpredictable, and despite him not having the size, it's the shots that you don't see that hurt the most, and maybe Crawford can hit him with some unexpected shit. And because of the repetitiveness of Canelo, maybe he can time him, maybe he can counterpunch with him, because Crawford is unbelievable at that. But I'm fascinated to see if Crawford has the power to get the respect of Canelo Alvarez, because when you don't, it's a long night. It's not nice. Like Crawford did well against Madrimov, and he won that fight for me quite clearly. But Madrimov was countering him. If you can counter the counter puncher, you can give them a lot of problems when they're not used to that. And Canelo can counter people really well. And as great as Terrence Crawford is, we've never seen him in there with someone with the power of Canelo Alvarez, this is a different world of power. And look, maybe Canelo doesn't throw as many shots as he used to, and maybe Crawford might look at that and go, you know what, I'm going to try and outpoint this guy, not get into a war with him, but just show my boxing, genius and outpoint him and outland him. That's possible. It is. This is why this is such a fascinating matchup, man. We've been treated to some amazing fights. Usyk Fury, for example, this is another one of those mega fights on Riyadh season.
Both camps know what's at stake. Crawford is pushing his limits, while Canelo is sparring younger, faster fighters to prepare. Neither man is leaving a single detail unchecked.
They had this little fracas. It looked kind of WWE to me, but we know Crawford is coming to try to win. That's his DNA, that's his nature, and I think that's what he will attempt to do. So it will be up to Canelo to show him moving up to this weight class was a mistake. Weight classes exist for a reason. So I really like what I'm seeing. Canelo getting young sparring partners in there. He probably is giving them advice and using them for their energy. It's like 50 Cent said in Hustler's Ambition when he said, I need you to hate so I can use you for your energy, right? He's using these younger fighters because Canelo was once the young, hungry fighter, right? And now he's using these younger fighters and sparring with them and working with them as he prepares for this. Now, I think there is something on the line for both fighters. Canelo, payday, you'll want payday, I know that. And also Terence Crawford. But this, especially for Canelo Alvarez, he's not going to want to lose this fight because it's a smaller person.
Finally, former champion Zab Judah believes Crawford has what it takes not just to win, but to knock Canelo down. He praised Bud's precision and speed, saying this fight could end with a shocking statement knockout. This isn't just another boxing match, it's a battle of legacy, pride, and history. Will Canelo's power be too much, or will Crawford's brilliance prove unstoppable? The world will find out soon.